So boys, it's Charney here, another YouTube video. This one's gonna be talking about pretty much why you guys literally are impatient like as fuck, and literally I used to be impatient. And this is talking about trading specifically, right? Like most people think their strategy is not good enough because, you know, their strategy is not good enough. They're not good enough. And, you know, maybe the time frame they're trading isn't good enough, or they're doing something wrong. Most of it is you're literally impatient. And I was guilty of this too. Like TikTok literally has your dopamine receptors absolutely fucked, like actually fucked. And when you take that into trading and you're sitting there constantly doom scrolling on TikTok and getting hit with dopamine, and then you go on Instagram, go on Reels, and then you're getting hit with dopamine, and you take that to a chart, which is completely opposite. You're gonna be sitting there and you're gonna be taking trades. You're gonna be looking for trades, and you, if you don't take any trades, then you're gonna feel like you didn't do anything right for the day. You missed out on the day, and then you're gonna get FOMO, and then you're gonna go on TikTok, and then you're gonna see someone say, "Hey, I made $5,000 today trading the Nasdaq," and then you're gonna get back on the charts, and then you're gonna revenge trade, and it's just an endless cycle. And I used to do the exact same thing, and that's literally what this video is about: is how your impatience is literally killing your trading. So trading is one thing that you can't work your way to making money realistically. You can't sit there and I can't just work at trading. It's impossible. I sit there and I have to read what the data is giving me, and if it's something I see that I like, I react to it. If it doesn't have anything, then I don't give a fuck. I don't sit there and place random trades constantly, right? Some weeks you're gonna have multiple positions. Some weeks you're gonna have 0 positions. And of course it depends what type of strategy you're trading. But most people can't handle that. They have to sit there and click buy or sell and feel like they're working towards something. Because if they're not placing any trades today, they're not working towards trading. You know, trading isn't gonna reward them because they're not clicking buy and sell on the charts, right? That's not the case at all. And that's probably the hardest thing you have to deal with trading. There's a statistic of 1% of traders that actually make it, and that statistic is there for fucking reason. Like, genuinely, everything else in this world, I would arguably say that none of it compares to trading. I really would. With the amount of, you can't just work your way to trading. You don't know, like the statistics, like the numbers of trades that you're gonna hit and the numbers of trades you're gonna lose. It's randomized. Your brain isn't developed to think like that. It's developed to think, if I push this can off my desk, it's gonna fall over, right? I do something, it's gonna have an instant reaction, right? Trading, it's not like that. Like, you can think you're doing the right thing and the position could just lose. You could take a trade and think you're doing the right thing and position could lose, and you could lose money today, and you're gonna sit there and be like, okay, well, your brain's wired to literally see that as a bad thing. In trading, it's not like that. That's the hardest part, is you literally have to take a position fully knowing that you don't know what the outcome is going to be. You don't know if this trade's going to hit. You don't know if this trade's going to lose. You don't know if the next 5 trades are going to lose. You don't know if the next 5 trades are going to win. You literally do not know. And that is why trading is quite literally one of the hardest things in the world to do. But again, as they say, it's the hardest way to make easy money, and that is nothing but the truth, 100%. And that's the thing, like, if you always need action, you're not trading. You're just coping for dopamine, and that's realistically what that is. If you can't handle that, move to something else. And I'm not saying you can't learn that, because trust me, to get into trading, you will have to learn that. You're gonna have to, you know, be put through the test. But if you genuinely cannot do that, then move to something else, because trading quite literally requires unwiring everything that you're taught and rewiring your brain into pretty much a trading mind, a trader's mind. You know, not being super reacted off dopamine, not needing to always take an entry, not needing to, you know, always, you know, work on trading, which pretty much means clicking the buy and sell button. Like I said, you can't work your way to trading. You have to be okay with literally doing nothing. That is sometimes how you make money, is doing nothing. And everything else is not like that. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it'll bleed your account down slowly and slowly and slowly if you don't do that. And I'm guilty for this as well. Like, literally, old me, I could not go a day without placing a trade. And I remember like literally like every single day, if I wasn't placing a trade, I did not feel like I was pursuing trading. I felt like I was not doing something right because I wasn't working, right? Where all of these other business models, there's always usually something you can be doing, right? If you're in like sales or something, you can always be calling every day. Trading, you can't work your way to success. That's the thing. And there's two sides of that. Of course, you can work as in back testing, and maybe if you have an ecosystem around it, like a mentorship and stuff like that, of course. But for actual trades, you can't work your way. You have to sit there and react to what the market is showing you. And like I said, it goes against the human brain. And old me, I literally remember like that's all I used to do is every single day place a trade. I was back like I graduated high school like a little less than a year ago, and since sophomore year, I'd say sophomore junior year, I was placing trades every single day. Like no matter what, I had to place a trade. And that was a horrible place to be in. Don't go to that. Don't be in that position is what I'm saying. Learn it. You're going to have to learn it, right? Everyone's going to go through a phase of learning where they're going to be placing trades every day. But get through that phase as fast as you possibly can, because I promise you that will only slow you down. Because going back to my point, last week for me was a slow week, right? There was 0 positions to take. 0. And what did I do? I didn't take a trade. And what I would have done, maybe even just probably a year ago, I would have been taking positions every single day. If I didn't make money for the day, I felt like I had to find a position to take to feel like I did something right for the day. And if you take a position and it turns red, then you have to revenge trade. So you have to make that money back. And it was just an endless cycle. And yeah, there's really nothing you can do except push through it to the point that you nonstop lose, that your body and mind physically will make you start to switch, or B, take from other people's advice, whether it be me or someone else, that were openly telling you that's not the way to do it, right? Trading is a passive game. You have to wait for your position, and everyone's strategy is different, right? Some people trade, a couple trades a day. Some people are swing traders, maybe only a couple a month. We're kind of in between, right? We're taking a couple positions a week. And you have to be fully knowing that if you don't make money for the day, it's okay. And that's another thing that ties back into really having the data for your strategy. Before, I really was trading a bunch of random shit, and that's the majority for 99% of you guys. And that's again why the statistic is 1% of traders actually make it. You literally have to be the top 1% to outcompete the 99% of traders. And I don't want to say it's easy, but the barrier is definitely a lot lower, because 99% of these people don't know what the fuck they're doing, don't know what strategy they're trading. They don't really even have fucking back testing data. They don't really know. A, they're just following signals, or B, they're just gambling. And that realistically is the 99%. And again, I'm not saying it's easy to get there. It's definitely hard, because again, that ties back into you have to rewire your brain of everything the school system teaches you, college teaches you, everything. And like I said, back testing, it's going to give you the data that you can look and see that this strategy works. It made, X amount of percentage for the year. We had slow weeks, we had fast weeks. We had, maybe a losing month here and there. We had a lot of winning months. When you have that data in your mind, you can look at that data and you can look at real charts, be like, cool, I saw this before. This is simple. It's just a slow week. And literally be like, okay, I'm not going to force any positions, we've seen this all the time in back testing. Usually next week or the week after usually starts to pick up. And that's literally what happens. And just having that data separates you from 99% of people, because 99% of people are lazy as fuck. Lazy as fuck. And that's literally why that statistic is that way. It makes me so mad, because even the strategy I trade, a lot of people have zero data. I've never seen really any other data besides a handful of people that showed me data. No one has any backtesting data. If they do, they have it on like 2 months and they don't feel like backtesting. They don't really care. So then they quit. So then when fucking live markets actually, they get trades in live markets, they're going to get fucking slapped around and they're going to lose a bunch of fucking money, because they don't have the data to be like, okay, this is a slow week. I saw this before. I'm gonna stay patient and not take any trades, not lose any money this week. And that's exactly like what I did this last week. Very slow week. And I literally didn't take any trades because of it. And it's just crazy that, like I said, last year I would have been losing so much money. I would have been buying funded. And it's crazy, because you either get taught it early on, or you're just going to have to get pushed through that phase and keep going until it physically hurts so bad that you have to switch and you're forced to stay patient. And that's another thing, like the level of patience I have did not come overnight. Your body, again, isn't designed for it. Everyone's on fucking TikTok. Everyone's nonstop scrolling. Some people can't even watch a fucking minute-long video. Literally, full-grown people can't watch a minute-long video of someone talking because it's too fucking long. They're scrolling to the next video. That is literally, that is people. And it's crazy. It's literally crazy. The barrier to outcompete these people are so fucking low. It's the lowest it's ever been. These people are genuinely lazy as fuck. And when you look back and see slow weeks and flat periods, and still see profitability over time, you stop panicking, right? You start realizing, I had this data before. And some people that literally don't do that, don't backtest, hasn't put in 2-3 years of trading, and they're here for 5 or 6 months, and they expect, oh yeah, I have the best patience. This is pretty easy, I know exactly what I'm doing, I'm a real disciplined trader. You're arrogant as fuck. You're genuinely arrogant as fuck. And the market will humble you. I can promise you, it'll find a way to humble you, either this week, next week, or next month. It will find a way to humble you. I promise you, it always will. So stop being arrogant. Listen to other people that has been through it. That's literally what I did. I wouldn't say I was as much arrogant. I couldn't find the right mentors to teach me in the space until the last couple months. I couldn't find any of that. And I had to learn everything on my own. I had to just keep putting in the work, and just keep losing money. And genuinely, it was so fucking hard, but you eventually push through it. So, like I said, if you think you're gonna master this fast, at least like the patience side of things and not chasing dopamine, you're just being arrogant. There's really nothing else to put in perspective. This takes time, you can't just expect, you can't go from watching all these short form content and watching all these brain rot videos to coming into trading and competing against people on Wall Street that's been doing these for 50, 60 years. That's who you're competing with. And you literally think, and I thought this too, oh, I can be patient like these guys. It's not that hard. It's fucking hard. And you're gonna, the markets are just gonna keep on humbling you. So the faster you learn this, the better. Just stop fucking over trading and be patient for your setups. And another thing is, you're not being paid to trade. You're being paid to execute on your positions. You're not being paid to come to the markets every day and put on a random position. You're getting paid to wait for your setups, and if you have the data, when there on average is going to be setups, right? Here and there we are going to have a slow week. Some weeks we're going to have, faster weeks. On average, we have maybe 3 or 4 trades a week. When you have that data, it's a lot easier to execute. It really is. And that comes down to that, because a lot of people don't have the data or don't show the data on the strategy that they trade. So when shit hits the fan, they literally don't know what the fuck to do. And they start over trading, and that's when you start just blowing accounts, and then you start revenge trading, and you just start going down a spiral. You know, most traders don't lose money because they're wrong in the market. They lose money because they couldn't wait. They literally can't wait for an A+ setup that goes with their strategy. And they're just overtrading. So again, if you can't sit still and not place any trades, you're not going to last at all. And again, you're going to be put through, and you're just going to keep on paying for your impatience. And paying is going to be non-stop buying funded accounts, non-stop blowing evals, and the list goes on. And I'm purely speaking from experience. And that is why I wanted to make this video, to share with you guys, like, genuinely, impatience will kill your trading. And I'm 100% living proof of that. Because, again, a year ago, probably even less than a year ago, I was over trading on everything. It did not matter. I was over trading. If I didn't place a trade, or didn't place a trade for the day, I felt like I was doing something wrong. And again, this last week was literally just a live example of everything I learned, and it was just a pure test. Like, it's genuinely crazy. It's just crazy to sit down, because for me now it's like, yeah, just another week, you know, no positions, no trades. And I sat there and I was like, wait a second. Last year, if I didn't trade it in a day, it was absolutely crazy. And it genuinely took me that long to learn the lesson, because A, no one told me this, and B, I was probably too arrogant to listen to much people, right? I was like, no, you know, it can't be that hard. You're competing, again, against people on fucking Wall Street. It's player versus player in the market. If you're winning, someone else is losing. If you're losing, someone else is winning. And when you're arrogant as fuck and you think you have all the patience in the world and you don't overtrade, 99% of the time you're going to be fucking losing. And the people that aren't arrogant and understand that, hey, I'm going to have to sit down. Yes, I'm going to lose a little bit of money. It's going to take me a little bit to learn. But they go through the motions. They mentor up, you know, listen to someone, take advice from someone, and they apply that to the market. That is how you get an edge on the market. If you're arrogant and you think you know it all, you're going to get humbled very quickly. I can promise you guys that. So that's pretty much it for this video. I just want to go over, again, why impatience will literally kill your trading. And again, this last week, I probably would have blown 2 accounts easily. I didn't take a single fucking trade. My account is still there. I didn't take a single trade. And again, it sounds a lot more easier than it actually is. I'm sure a lot of people in here that's watching this video knows that, because they've been through it. But once you get on the other side of it, you realize it truly just takes unwiring your brain from all this dopamine, from all this like crave for instant dopamine, and unwiring it to patience. Literally patience. You sit there and you understand the market, that you can't go in and just work and make money from the market. You have to sit there, sit like this in your chair, watch the charts, and when it shows you something that aligns with your strategy, you click buy or sell, and that's it. And you go about your day. And you come back, and if it wins and if it loses, you note down what it did. You note down maybe the date, time, you know, whatever, for your journal. And that's it. You go again tomorrow, and over and over and over again. Again, when you have this data, you know this is how it's going to play out. You don't have to sit here and be like, oh, why did I, you know, not take a trade this week? Something's wrong. My strategy's broken. Well, if you would have fucking back tested the last 5 years, you would realize that it has slow weeks. And a lot of people are arrogant as fuck and don't do that. I don't understand why. I literally don't understand why. But again, I'm yapping too much now. So that's pretty much it for this video, boys. And yeah, there's not too much more to go over. Yeah, just lock the fuck in.